Welcome back to this session on Rosmini's 5 wounds of the Holy Church. Today we will look into the third wound, the lack of unity among the bishops of the church, or in other words, the disunion among the bishops. As we all know, the early church was one in heart and mind. The Lord had emphasized unity, particularly among his disciples, saying, "May they be one." Together with Peter or his successors, the early bishops governed the church as a single body. They were one and constantly emphasized the need for Christians and Christian churches to be united. In order to maintain the unity that Jesus willed for his own body, the church, the pope, and bishops together governed the church as a single entity, a concept known as collegiality in modern terms. The apostles jealously protected their own and their congregation's unity. Their external unity was ensured by the strong ties between the apostles and their leader, Peter, and his successors, and their internal unity was ensured by the communion of teachings and sacraments. Although they were scattered throughout many nations, bishops were conscious of forming a single body of the highest authority. Their hearts and minds were dominated by this great concept of unity, and they used every possible means to bind themselves together. All maintained exactly the same faith and love for each other. How this perfect unity was achieved? Rosmini mentions 6 golden links that bound bishops together in perfect unity. Let's look into them. The first link is the bishops knew one another personally. And the second link is the bishops, even the most isolated, were in constant correspondence, although they lacked the means of communication available to us today. The bishops visited one another out of mutual charity or from zeal for church affairs. And the fourth link is assemblies and councils, especially provincial councils, were held frequently. And the fifth link is the metropolitan bishop had authority over the bishops of a province, while greater sees had several provinces and metropolitans subject to them. This arrangement provided for uniformity in doctrine and in practice and strengthened the bonds among the churches and bishops. And the final link, the final golden link, is the overall authority of the Pope, which was the foundation rock of the unity of the universal church. In all their serious needs, bishops and churches of the entire world appealed to him as a father, judge, teacher, leader, center, and a common source. Unfortunately, this golden era of the church came to end after 6 centuries. The same cause that was responsible for the insufficient education of the clergy was also the cause of the progressive disunion among the bishops. The end of the Roman Empire and the sustained invasions of the barbarian kings, with the establishment of the feudal system. In the crumbling of the old systems, the bishops became the intermediaries between the people and the barbarian rulers, and they were forced to enter the political arena, acquiring in the process of power, wealth, and privileges. The bishops' political involvement and power was the cause of profound disunion among them. According to Rosmini, if the church had been relieved of the wealth harming it, the Catholic faith might have been preserved in some countries. The church earns not for wealth, but for freedom. Absolved of all involvement in politics, political engagement, and financial gain, the humble and impoverished bishops, like to the apostles, would once more turn into a source of unity among themselves and be prepared to vigorously preach the kingdom of God to all creatures. However, In order to accomplish this political disconnection, the bishop's election needs to be a matter for the church exclusively. Unfortunately, it cannot be achieved unless the fourth wound is healed. That is, the election of bishops placed in the hands of the civil governments, and which we will be seeing in the next video. Until then, stay tuned to the channel, and if you haven't yet subscribed the channel, kindly do so. Thank you for hearing me.